your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
No Astros today. They're off. They'll be back in action over the weekend at home against the Detroit Tigers. Astros losing to the San Francisco Giants 5-3. Dodgers in the game against the Rangers picked up the former Astro, or the former Toronto Blue Jay, whose dad was an Astro, Kevin Biggio. So Biggio had been designated for assignment by the Blue Jays, and then they ended up trading him to the Dodgers, and he got a start yesterday. So,
yeah, Biggio gotten off to a pretty good major league career early on, but really had struggled the last couple of seasons and hadn't done much at all.
Yeah, so he's now a Dodger, and we'll see what he can do with that. Are you what? Let me ask you this question, because I can answer it pretty easily. Are you into the U.S. Open at all, or into golf here lately at all?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I look at the scores to see how Ludwig does.
Yeah,
but really, that's it.
Yeah, and that's really where I was headed. Is that what he's done has rekindled my interest in watching golf. So I'm not like sitting down and spending the whole Saturday or Sunday afternoon. Generally, I like to watch the Masters, and I like to watch the U.S. Open. But here in recent years, just because of time and not spending much time with it, as you have the change in players and things like that, I just go, man, who are these guys, right? They're not the guys of my youth. The guys of my youth are playing at the senior level or are done playing. And so anyway, I've just kind of, like you said, I mean, I'm certainly interested in how he does. He doesn't tee off until 6:51 this morning, so here in about 18 minutes, he'll tee off at Pinehurst number 2, and the U.S. Open is traditionally Father's Day weekend, so hopefully he'll have a good showing. I mean, he's had a really good start to his golf career, and would love to see him be in the hunting. Think that'd be really cool.
Well, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's been fun so far, seeing how close he's been to winning some of these tournaments and spreading the word.
Yeah.
And bringing respect and all that good stuff to a positive light shining on Texas Tech. So on that awesome golf program. So hopefully he'll continue to, by just being a great player and everybody knowing he's a Red Raider, help Coach Sands in the recruiting game.
Absolutely.
You would think he will. And so
absolutely.
You want him to keep doing well for himself, but you want him to keep doing well for Texas Tech as well. So it's been really cool.
He seems to be kind of a soft-spoken, mild-mannered, just go out and play. I mean, he's kind of a Josh Young of golf, so to speak. I mean, he had such a great career here, and who knows? Maybe he can go out and make a little noise this weekend. We'll keep an eye on him. I saw this a couple of days ago, and I've been meaning to bring it up to you, but we've just had so much going on that just haven't been able to get to it. And it's concerning because it's probably going to happen again. But last year at the College World Series in Omaha, police were sent to protect one of the 8 teams after a threat from a gambler. The team has not been identified, but the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, said that the situation highlights his ongoing concerns about gambling in the new sports betting landscape. He told CBS Sports after his speech at the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics convention in Las Vegas. That's a good place for them to be if they're concerned about gambling.
Sure.
It's Vegas, It's like, let's just go to where the root of the problem is, right? It used to be the pariah's destination, and now it's everybody's destination. He said there was a bettor who threatened a team. The threat was serious enough that we showed it to authorities. They said, what we think we should probably hang out with you guys for the rest of the tournament. I mean, we're talking about a college baseball team that has to have police protection because of a threat of a gambler. That is that's mind-boggling to me. Multiple sources confirmed to CBS Sports that the incident took place at last year's event in Omaha. LSU won the national championship. Florida, Virginia, Wake Forest, Stanford, Tennessee, Oral Roberts, and TCU also participated.
There's been betting on sports for a long, long time,
Sure.
and this kind of thing has not happened a bunch. So this just seems like a bit of an outlier of some crazy person.
Maybe so.
I mean, it's not a great situation, and you hate it for college athletes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But being honest, I'd hate it for a professional athlete.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
It's just crazy person.
Would you feel better in this story, Chuck, if it wasn't a gambler, but it was a crazy ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, probably so.
Really? I'd rather be the gambler.
Yeah. I mean, the crazy ex-girlfriend might take it to an extreme, right?
This is my point.
A crazy ex-girlfriend might come up with a pistol or something. But the gambler is like, hey, we're going to break your legs.
Right, they can't get their money.
Come in there.
Right, you kill a guy, you can't get his money. The girlfriend can kill him.
With a runner in scoring position, we need you to just feebly strike out, I don't know.
I'm not saying it's a good situation. Don't get me wrong.
But that right there, was why it was always like, don't get involved, don't associate with gamblers, don't.
Sure.
And my point on this is that we keep getting closer and closer and closer with a relationship with professional betting and obviously with DraftKings and phones and number of states that have declared it legal. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying be careful what you wish. Be careful what you. Well, I'm just saying be careful what you wish for because this type of thing is going to probably happen more and more as you.
I think it already is. My guess, and I would bet it's happening more in college sports than the professional sports.
And just be careful what you wish for here as you put logos of things like that on your uniforms, and at some point in time, these college teams and college programs that are going to have this shortfall of money are going to look at things like that as a means to help fund their programs. The professional teams have been doing it for a couple of years.
Is there really people who have gambling places on their uniforms? That would
I don't know about
but
I mean certainly sponsorships associated with them. But at some point in time, it's going to get closer and closer to that, just because we're going to get desensitized to it. I mean, it used to be you could not run a Texas lottery commercial during a sporting event. Now they're a sponsor. Just keep getting closer and closer to it. It is what it is.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Drive. Today is the 13th day of June, 2024. With this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
Going to start in 1924 with the New York Yankees winning by forfeit over the Tigers. It would be their third forfeit win of the season. That is mind-boggling to me.
Wonder why so many forfeits.
No idea.
It's weird.
1937, Joe DiMaggio hits 3 consecutive home runs against the St. Louis Browns. 1957, Ted Williams becomes the first ALer to have 2 3-homer games in a single season. 1988, Boston Red Sox are 10 games back in the American League. That year they go on to win the AL East. So, if you're under 10 games, you got a chance.
But they wouldn't play for the whole thing. That would be the swinging A's. I know they're 10 back, yeah.
10 games back, you got a chance. Mm-hmm. There's hope for people out there, unless you're a White Sox fan. 1994. They're way more than 10 back. Chicago Cubs second baseman Ryne Sandberg retires due to poor play. In his retirement, he forfeits $15.7 million of his $25 million contract.
Bet he wished he could go back and redo that decision.
I'm sure he knew about it at the time.
Maybe they negotiated something.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just walk away from $15 million.
Yeah. 1995, Major League...
I think I had to drag me away from 15 mil.
Yeah. That's drag me away from $100, maybe.
1995, Cleveland Indians, Dennis Martinez. No.
Spoken like a true radio salesman.
1995, Cleveland Indian Dennis Martinez no hits the Baltimore Orioles 11-0. And in 2009, senior Deandra Carter earns Texas Tech's first NCAA women's outdoor discus title by 5 feet 5 inches with a mark of 182 and 6 inches. That's a long throw. 182 feet. That's a long way to throw something.
Okay. It's just the discus throw. It's not. There's no indoor discus.
I'm just reading what they called it.
I know. I'm
following their instruction.
I know, but just for all the heat that I called it an indoor practice facility for the basketball team, outdoor discus it's the discus throw. Of course, it's outdoors.
I mean, you could throw a discus indoors.
I have no idea.
There's no indoor discus competition.
There's not? I have no idea. So it didn't jump out to me.
As odd? Okay.
They have throwing events and indoor track meets, don't they?
I don't know that. I think Chuck's right. I think Chuck's right. I don't think they do the discus
shot?
indoor.
Yeah.
Only the shot? Because that's a shorter distance, and so it's more under control and all that.
Makes sense. And actually, you would have to have a throwing area for it because just of the pounding that the shot put takes on the ground.
It feels like if that's the only indoor throwing event, they should just not have it.
I think there's not an indoor shot put either. I mean, for the indoor track, it's just.
I just know that the last time I went, there were people throwing towards the end, on the south end.
At the indoor facility.
There's a throwing area in the indoor. I think it is shot.
Yeah, it's probably just shot. It's not discus.
Yeah.
You're not throwing the discus in that thing.
I wasn't watching it, so I don't know what they were throwing.
They'd be throwing that thing off the walls. Or hitting
maybe that's the goal.
Or hitting the roof.
Who can bounce it off of the most amount of walls in a ricochet? Yeah. It's National Kitchen Klutzes of America Day.
Kitchen what?
Klutzes. You ever drop a pan in the kitchen? You ever break your favorite dish? Or your wife's favorite dish? Today, your day.
There is a bowl in our house in the cabinet that was used by my wife's grandmother to mix things in. I'm afraid of that bowl. I don't touch it. I've told my son-in-law, I said, you see this bowl right here? He said, yep. I go, don't ever touch it. I said, because if we break this bowl, if we chip this bowl, if we
sneeze on this bowl,
just start walking. Just pack up your stuff and just start walking because it's over. It's over.
Happy birthday to Chris Evans, who turns 43. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen are 37.
Man, it seems like they should be older than that.
Well, they were little kids on Full House. Like, they were babies on Full House.
No, I got you.
And they're,
they've been in the news for a lot.
Well, yeah, they're successful actresses and designers and whatever else they do.
What was their famous line that they would use in that show? Always ended in dude.
Really?
Was it okay, dude? No. What was it? You got it, dude.
Yeah, I think
you got it, dude.
I don't think I ever watched that show. I don't think I ever watched that show. That was just not on my radar.
You missed out on it, Becky.
Well, I was a young single guy at the time, and I think that was a Friday night show or a Thursday night show. It was
part of TGIF.
Yeah, I had no interest in that show.
Also, happy birthday, Tim Allen, who turned 71 today. Gentlemen, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
In the court of radio.
You have a right to have an attorney present when questioned. If you cannot afford one will be appointed for you. How quickly in that could you recite it with me as I was going?
Oh, right there.
Almost immediately, right?
Almost immediately, yes.
So much so that it's almost cliche watching every cop show and the plethora that we have as an option.
No, you're going to give us the history of the Miranda rights here, aren't you?
1966, Supreme Court hands down the decision in Maranda versus Arizona, establishing this principle that all criminal suspects must be advised of their rights before interrogation. And that, gentlemen, is this day in sports history.
Hey. It should have been the Dragnet thing, because Dragnet in the late 60s, early 70s with Jack Webb, he's the one that really, kind of started the whole Miranda rights in the cop
I'm
shows.
just saying there's like 80 Law and Order shows, and they've been running for like 30 years.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right.
If I hit this, everybody knows what it is.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Hey, did you say Dennis Martinez had the no-hitter? Is that what you said?
I did. El Presidente.
Okay, because he also had a perfect game in his career. Anyway, 6:53 this morning. Here on the morning drive. I get a really, Chuck? Then is it it's the indoor weight throw? No, there's no indoor.
There is an indoor hammer throw, is something a caller said on the Visual Edge IT hotline.
Syntax Hanks writes into something from earlier about the gambling. Chuck is right about the gambling. I'm a decade older than he is, and over the years I've watched as slowly but surely the barriers between gamblers, players, and agents not only were blurred, but have been ignored or removed. Kids are now getting used to being paid. Yes, I agree with that. The blurring of that, what was considered to be just absolutely do not do this, blah, 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 is now becoming just second nature. Jordan writes in, JL only heavily endorsed company that backfired would have been professional, but have been when professional teams endorsed by FTX Bitcoin company, who ended up laundering money and tons of it. Okay, there you go. When then we get a really, Chuck. Yeah, I guess I was they're throwing the flag on me for the indoor discus throw comment, maybe.
You read the really, Chuck one twice.
I did, yeah. Well,
so it's a really, really, Chuck.
It stood out to me.
Okay.
It stood out to me.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We'll have Ranger Baseball on the air for you tonight to take on the Dodgers from Los Angeles. 8:30 the broadcast time. Then the Rangers will leave L.A. After the game tonight and head to the Emerald City of Seattle and be there against the Mariners over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ever been to Seattle?
I have not. I would love to, though.
It's been many years ago. This is, I think this is even before Lucky Lady time. I went to Seattle, and it was, I enjoyed my time there. I went up to the space. You got to do Space Needle. You got to do the fish market. Watch them throw the fish. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd like that part.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd like to watch that. I think it would be funny.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Got coffee on every corner. It's littered with coffee up there.
Oh, and that's different than Lubbock, Texas.
Well, it wasn't at the time. It wasn't at the time. They were littered with coffee places before anybody was. But anyway, that's
it's everywhere now, man.
It is. You're right. And I'm
that's big business right there.
I am just a regular cup of coffee guy. I think I don't know who's more frustrated when I'm forced to go into one of those places, me or them. When they say can I help you, and I'll say, I just like a regular cup of coffee, and I feel like I have to explain it to them. Just a regular cup of coffee.
Chuck, I like you, just need a regular cup of coffee. I have never, ever had to explain to them what a regular cup of coffee is. They'll ask me what size. They'll do their own translation for it. They get it. Yeah, just say you need a medium, large, whatever cup of coffee.
Why do you go into those places? It feels like it would be usually overly priced for just a regular cup of coffee.
When someone else makes that choice.
When someone else
and
makes
I'm going with them.
When someone else makes that choice, or you have a meeting, or you're at, like, there's been a number of times been on the road, been in a hotel where that is all that's available at our hour in the morning. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they want to know if it's venti or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, a large, please. just a large would be great. Just give me a large. This from the Yates Flooring Center.
I'm going to go with, you asked a question to start this. I'm going to guess it's them.
It's them?
That's more bothered by you coming in than you going in.
They're probably bothered by me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. This, fans learned their lesson from last year with being hyped up, or at least I did.
Yeah, no, I think halfway through the season, I was saying to myself, oh man, this didn't turn out like we expected and all that good stuff. But I don't, then the season ended, then you see the schedule and you see what you have coming back, and you hear that Taj is coming back, and you have a quarterback that's returning and all that, and then you look at that schedule and you're like, okay, well, this looks really favorable here. We got all these home games, and you gotta feel like you got a great shot to win more games than you did last year. So maybe the hype is down, but I guess
the expectations higher.
It should be, in my opinion.
Okay. We get this. This is the sarcasm light is on for this one. I drove by the stadium, and I think something you aren't taking into account is the new north end zone scoreboard. Yeah, this is an upgrade for Raidertron 5000. It will definitely get us past the 7-4 hump and help us tackle and improve the offensive play calling. Yes. I just saw a little video that was posted and I don't know how much bigger it is across, or how much brighter it's going to be. But I'm really looking forward to the, not only that, but just the sound. How's the sound system going to change?
I think a lot of fans are excited about the sound. Maybe that's the most underrated part. Mm-hmm. Of the whole deal, because I think that's where fans have been frustrated, that they felt like the sound wasn't very good. But
I will say this, over the past few years, I mean, they made some improvements to the sound, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and it at least in from our vantage point, it is greatly improved as to what it was in 10 years ago. At least that's what it seems like to me.
That's good.
The years all kind of start to mesh together, right? But I feel like over the last 4 or 5 years, I mean, it's gotten louder, and it's sometimes hard to have a conversation or play calling. They're in the stands. It's like, what are we doing? Why aren't we doing this? My commentary to the lucky lady and those behind me. What are we doing? Just the usual stuff that takes place in the stands. Sometimes it's hard when you've got all the music and everything that's blaring at you.
We'll make sure they turn it down
so that I can.
So that you can.
We just need to give him one of those golf signs where it's quiet, please, so he can hold that up so that he can have his conversation during the football game.
Well, I
mean you do get 15 hours a week to do that. Do you really need to do it while the game's going on?
It's kind of ongoing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of on. It's kind of
good,
ongoing.
Man, you never stop.
Get a lot of reps.
Yes, a lot of extra reps. That'll help.
And then there's people that I'll have conversation with, on the way to the concession stand or bathroom or things like that. That we have. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? So I mean, there's different ones, that you spot, because if you've been a season ticket holder for a long time, and everybody's got this, and there's certain parts of the stadium, it's like they only see this person at football games, right? Mm-hmm. Or they only see him at basketball games. Oh, by the way, I was wrong about something. I know this comes as a shock to you.
And now, from Morning Drive Update.
The breaking news sounder.
You were out, and I forget where we were. We were somewhere. Somebody asked about had basketball season ticket upgrades taken place yet, and I said I believe that's the case, and that's not the case. Those are going on right now. So I don't know if you're on the list for reserve seats and you've been a GA guy, kind of keep your ear to the ground or your phone by you, because you may get a chance to upgrade, or you may, like in our case, we have season ticket upgrades, and I think it would have to be. I think we like where we are, but I don't know that we wouldn't.
But it's never good enough.
Always looking for an upgrade, right? Always looking for an upgrade. But I kind of like where we sit in the upper deck, and kind of close to the aisle and close to the exit, and right there. There's part of me that likes to be on the other side just so I can see the reactions of the teams. But then I get to look down and I get to see hacks and level, and look to my right and see what's going on at the scores table and all those things. And so I think I don't know if we're going to stay where we are, stand pat, or move. It'd have to be kind of a substantial upgrade, but kind of like where we are. But anyway, those are going on right now. So I just wanted to let you know that I was wrong about that.
It's such a hard life for Chuck Heinz. That's such a hard life figuring things out where he wants to sit at the ball game.
Mm-hmm. Somebody says this: there is hype. I was going to get season tickets and they were gone. Yes, there is that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, people are excited.
Yeah, that's a great problem to have. And it makes me wonder. And I don't know. Maybe there's a certain number that they have to hold back for,
individual
games. But there may be a point in time where they go, hey, you know what? We're going to sell all these rascals. We'll hold back what we need to hold back for the visiting team, just by the nature of the law of the land from the Big 12. But other than that, we're going to sell them all. But there's also probably a component of economics where it's like, okay, we hold back these 1,000 each game. We can sell these for more than what we can sell them all for as a season ticket. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
So there may be that component as well.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Okay, we've kind of done this before, guys, but after Chuck mentioned earlier Big 12 rankings and predictions from Phil Steele, and we'll give you those once again here quickly. I want you guys to tell me a couple teams, two, that you think will take at least 2 spots forward by the end of the season, and 2 teams that you think are ranked at least 2 spots too high. Okay, so again, his list, his prediction: Utah 1, Kansas State 2, Oklahoma State 3, Iowa State 4, Arizona 5, West Virginia 6, TCU 7, Kansas 8, UCF 9, Texas Tech 10, Baylor 11, Cincinnati, Colorado, BYU, Arizona State at 15, Houston at 16. Boy, that's a lot of teams.
It is a lot of teams. It is a lot of teams. Should we take Texas Tech out of the component or no?
Would we all agree that they're going to finish 2 spots or more higher than that?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Chuck. So let's do that. Let's try to avoid them.
Okay, so two spots higher and 2 spots lower?
Yeah.
Okay. How many teams? One each?
2 each?
2 each? Okay. I think that I think Colorado is going to be higher than 13th. I think Cincinnati is going to be lower than 10th. I think BYU is going to be higher than 14th. I know a lot of people have them finishing last. And I think I need one that's going to be higher. I think UCF is going to be higher than 7th.
Okay.
The going from top to bottom, so the teams I think are way too high. Iowa State and Arizona. I don't know that Arizona's that far off. I think Arizona's somewhere around 7, I think would feel right for them. So the 2 spots fits. That's not a huge drop. I would be shocked. I will be shocked if Arizona's in the top half of the league. And them being picked in 4th is just mind-boggling to me. As for teams that I think are a little too low, I don't think BYU is going to be 14. they've got such a home field advantage with the elevation. They're going to win some games they shouldn't there. I don't think they'll be 14. And maybe it's just because they're on the schedule. I don't think Arizona State's going to be 15 either. I could see it being 17. I could see BYU being 10.
Well, then they can't be 17.
Did you just say 17?
I'm not 13. I'm sorry, I went the wrong direction. I'm adding 2.
That's okay. We may have 17 teams before the year's over.
Sure. Hey, give me a chance.
Could have 18.
Their team could hit the portal.
Yeah.
They don't even have to sit out a year. They can just transfer to the conference mid-season.
Mid-season, right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think the number one team for me that I think is put too high here with Phil Steele is West Virginia at 6th. I don't think they'll finish that high. I also don't think Iowa State will finish as high as 4th. I think you can knock those two back at least 2 pegs. That would be the two that really jump out to me early on. It's harder for me going the opposite direction. Texas Tech was definitely one to me that they have them at 10 on this list, and I feel like they have a much better chance to finish above that. I think Colorado will finish better than 13th. I hate saying that. I'm totally rooting for them to finish 16th, but I think they'll finish much higher than that. And UCF is the other one that I feel like has the potential. Their quarterback returning, great running back returning, actually 2 really good running backs returning. I think UCF has the potential to be a top 6 team in the league this year.
Yeah.
So I would say UCF has the chance to make a 2-spot jump from where they have them.
Yeah.
Now, to give Phil Steele's group a little bit of credit, I do think the conference is going to go 1, 2, 3, Utah State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State. I think that's on the money.
You don't think K-State's... I know some people... I heard you guys talking yesterday on the bottom line that on3.com has Kansas State in the college football playoff.
Yeah, it's one of the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
That seemed crazy.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was a little high for them. Especially when, they've got they'll have a new quarterback. We saw him here, and he looked like a Heisman Trophy winner here. But he's got to play all 12 games, at least presumably. I think if you were asking me, I would put Oklahoma State ahead of K-State. But they're certainly one of the top 3 teams. They're certainly going to contend. He's certainly proven that he can put a team together and win games and all that kind of stuff.
Put a team together?
Well,
you can get up and down the court?
Yeah, get up and down the field, right? Yeah, sure. Probably get up and down the court. Probably got some guys that play basketball on his team as well.
I do feel sorry for the Wildcats this year.
Why is that?
They don't get the free space on bingo by playing us.
Man, wish that would come to an end.
You and me both, brother.
Wish that would come to an end. Do you think, as you're kind of thinking about this list, who's going to be better and who's going to be worse than what you thought? Would you say at this point in time that Colorado is your second toughest home game this year?
Behind North Texas, right?
Or is it your toughest?
I would think West Virginia would be tougher than Colorado.
Okay. Of course, you don't know what anybody's injury situation is going to be by November. You play Colorado on November the 9th and West Virginia on November the 30th.
I'm just going off of the fact that I think the weather will be worse. West Virginia game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see that now. That was a joke from yesterday. Got it. Well, you're probably right. It's 3 weeks later.
Yeah, I think Colorado. I don't know. I think Colorado will be tougher than Baylor. So yeah, maybe that's your second toughest home game. Mm-hmm.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hour 3 of 3. With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. Great to have you with us today as we come to you from our comfortable perch here inside the First United Bank studio. Look forward to hearing from you today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, or the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline is open, 806-771-0973.
Breaking news.
Okay.
I'll get to it quick. Rafael Nadal announces he will miss Wimbledon to focus on the Olympics. I think that was the thought, that he would do that, knowing the Olympics were coming up, and he wanted to play with doubles with Alcaraz, going to play singles there, and so he's going to skip Wimbledon. It's not been his strongest place anyway.
I wonder what will the Wimbledon's in London, right? Right? Mm-hmm. That's in England. The Olympics are in Paris. Okay, I was just trying to... Well, they... And where's the French? The French Open is it in Paris?
Roland Garros,
but it's in Paris, right?
Okay.
Is that, am I right about
right.
that?
Yeah.
I just wondered, my question was, would they play the Olympics on clay there at Roland Garros, or will they play on grass or on
I don't know
synthetic?
I don't know what surface they're using.
Would you? I mean, if you had a preference, just as a tennis guy, would you?
I hate playing on clay, but that's what Rafa's the king of clay. So if it was, I would choose for it to be on clay, because that's his best surface.
Okay. Because for me, if the Olympics, I'm trying to think when they were in London, if they played at Wimbledon. If the Olympics were in New York, I'd like it to be at the U.S. Tennis Center, and obviously surface matters because
certain players play better on
certain surfaces.
Yeah.
And I don't know that does the regular I don't know, how would you describe the U.S. Open courts? Is it just
hard court?
Hard court. Okay, thank you. Is that a neutral court? Does that make it quote fair for everybody? I'm sure there's players that play better on that surface than on clay or grass, but is it by and large probably more players are used to playing on that type of surface than clay or even grass?
Yeah, I would guess so. It depends on where you've come from, where in the world you've played, but. Yeah, I would think. I think the foreign players are much more used to playing on clay than American players, for example, because there's not a ton of clay courts here, or grass courts.
Right. I was going to ask you. I mean, where is there a grass court? I mean, I'm sure there is, but I mean, obviously the maintenance.
The Tennis Hall of Fame has a tournament, which is up in, I believe it's in New Hampshire. That they have a tournament every year, and it's played on grass there.
Yeah. Somebody says this, the Olympics will be played on clay at Roland Garros. Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
I think that'd be cool. I mean, I always like it when they play on clay. That one time a year, basically where it's kind of highlighted. I realize that they probably play more on clay than I take note of. But
I think a lot of people like playing it, especially kids playing on it, because they can slide. You slide a little bit more, and so that's fun. I hate it for two reasons. It's not like a natural, true bounce every time.
And the other reason is?
And so if you're, not like super, super, super great, you have to be a little bit more conservative because of the bounce. And the other reason is I hate my shoes being dirty.
I know. I was going to say, anybody that's listened to this show more than a week
stand it.
Would know that Jamie doesn't want to play on clay because it's going to mess up your shoes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're basically filthy the whole time. It's uncomfortable to me. And
probably those guys are going through shoes every match. A new pair of shoes.
I would guess they wear a new pair every match.
Yep. Every match. Okay, well that's cool. I mean, I think that's awesome that he puts the Olympics ahead of Wimbledon. I mean, obviously Wimbledon's historic. I mean, he's won Wimbledon before, but for him to play for his country and potentially win a gold medal, I think that'd be. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think he's won a gold before.
Okay. Well, win another one.
Yeah.
Win another one. You wouldn't be sad by that, would you?
I would not.
Yeah. Yeah. 8:06 this morning here on the morning drive.
Yeah, he's won 2 gold medals.
Okay, well, he's looking for a third. Some reaction here on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. It would be kind of funny if the way Chuck went was being struck by lightning. I'm not rooting for this, but it would be ironic. Man, if you went out like that, I don't know that I'd want to go out like that. I mean, that seems rather sudden. But maybe that's the best way.
Hey, man, it'd be a shocking experience.
Yeah, maybe that's the best way is to go sudden. It's like...
I don't think you want to drag it out.
No. I don't want to drag it out. Just be done with me.
Would you enjoy the whole... Boy, this is a terrible question. Would you enjoy the whole, hey, you've got 2 months to live or 2 weeks to live? Because I think there's pros and cons to all that.
Well, it depends on what I'm able to do. Okay, if there's just like you're trying to beat the clock, okay, and you've got your stamina and you've got kind of your ability to kind of do some things, that you haven't done, as opposed to just sitting there or laying there. All right. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's agreed. You're in a hospital bed and you're on life support or whatever for 3 weeks or whatever, compared to just boom, you're gone.
Yeah.
But if they said you got 2 weeks before you're going to expire, but you can move freely about the country. Yeah. I guess that would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've done. There's been like a. Seems to me there was a TV series that was like that the guy had, and he still had the ability to do that.
Yes.
This is like a 60s TV series. It seems to me that there was something like that. Somebody says, you want a slow 6 months of painful death. No.
That's what I would not want.
No,
I would not want to be hanging out in a hospital bed for a long time.
Not at all. I would be thinking about...
I would not want to do that to my family.
Me neither.
Because that's a whole bunch of mess for them.
If a machine has to keep me alive, pull the plug.
Jamie, do you keep shoe cleaner with you the whole time you go hiking? Don't your shoes get dirty there?
Yes, they do, but it's different. Yeah. And
yes, he does have shoe cleaner with him at all times.
Well, it's not with me when I'm hiking, but as soon as I get back to the house, they get cleaned.
They're not stained like the clay would stain your shoes.
Yeah, if you wear white shoes at the French Open or whatever, they're never going to be the same again. My hiking shoes are, they're red and gray, and it's not gonna change what they look like. You play on clay with white shoes or any kind of white in those shoes, it's never gonna look the same.
Never gonna look the same.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.